So here's what I would like to do, Mike, because, you know, we're in Detroit. So we talk a lot of Detroit when it comes to the NFL draft. But there's some back-end teams in the draft, those that made the playoffs. I kind of want to talk about those for a second, get your opinions on what they should do in the draft. So let's start in the AFC. Miami, of course, we know they were the 7th seed in the playoffs. They forfeited their pick. They don't have a first-round pick, so who cares?
Well, the tampering.
Correct, tampering. So let's start with Baltimore. They sit at number 22 in the draft. What should they consider?
Is Lamar my quarterback?
Lamar is your quarterback. Let's say that.
Probably got to draft a wide receiver or a tight end.
Look, along with OBJ.
Now, again, Mark Andrews is still there. They drafted Isaiah Likely, the kid out of Coastal, so maybe tight end doesn't work. But this is a great tight end class. It's probably a wide receiver. You know, could you see Zay Flowers in a place like that? Slot receiver, OBJ on the outside, Bateman on the outside. I feel like they're kind of pigeonholed into having to take a skill player because they did next to nothing in free agency.
So let's say Lamar's not your quarterback. Will Levis is gone. Anthony Richardson is already gone. You wouldn't do Hendon Hooker because he can't play this year. So you stick with what you just said, probably, right?
It's
true.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre way of doing things. And look, their defense is no great shakes either. But I'm saying if Lamar's there, I think you have to begin repairing the relationship. If he's not there, all bets are off.
Let's jump to number 21, right above Baltimore, is the LA Chargers. Now, this is a team with high expectations. They've come in every year, and we say, wow, look at their offense. What they can be this. They're never that.
All right.
So what do they need to be that?
There's two things here. A, they've got to stop the run. I feel like I've said this for 5 years. If you told me they drafted a 400-pound Yeti cooler and put sneakers on it, I'd be like, great, done. They need something to stop the run. The other way they could go, though, is Keenan Allen is no spring chicken. Mike Williams is constantly hurt. I wouldn't mind seeing a wideout. Or here's another one, David. What is a quarterback's best friend? A really good tight end to patrol the middle of the field. I understand at different points, Jared Cook and other veterans might be a nice time for them to give Herbert a real weapon. Like, for instance, Michael Mayer.
Yeah, I was also thinking Dalton Kincaid. The reason why I'm thinking that is because...
Well, he signed with Houston, didn't he?
Dalton Kincaid, I'm talking about in the draft.
I'm sorry, I was thinking Dalton Schultz, Kincaid from Houston. Sorry, Dalton, same name, people.
It is. So Kincaid is coming off a back injury. So could that, question marks there.
He'd fit right in with Mike Williams.
Well.
No, but again, that's a guy, if you ever watch Utah play, that was their number 1, 2, and 3 receiving option. There'd be games he got targeted a dozen times. I don't care, whoever they like best, but it's about reinvestment in your quarterback, or you draft the Yeti cooler and stop the run. They've got to. It's unbelievable.
Let's go to the Jacksonville Jags. They were the 4th seed in the AFC, sit at number 24 in the draft.
Yep.
I would think defense.
Yep.
I mean, they have Ingram coming back. Their offense, offensive line maybe, but defense.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you completely. And again, they've done such a nice job insulating Trevor Lawrence with skill players. We don't even need to go down the list. It's either O-line or I'm with you, defense. You take the best defensive player on the board and you add him to Devin Lloyd, who you drafted last year. You add him to Trayvon Walker, who you drafted last year. Total agreement, David. They've earned the right to really go best available anywhere defensively.
Let's move over to the Bengals. They sit at number 28. Another team, yes, they made the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I would think the opposite than the Jacksonville Jags. I said defense for the Jags.
Yeah.
I think offense. Continue to load up with T. Higgins. Now, they are working on a contract with T. Higgins. They are starting talks.
Where are they picking?
They are picking number 28.
Let me tell you what I would do. Crazy idea. Do you believe the Bengals are a Super Bowl caliber team?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. I move up and get Bijan.
I understand that.
I think for them, I don't care about 6 years from now. I don't care about we do not pay running backs. If I believe that Bijan Robinson is going to protect Joe Burrow by getting first downs, by not having to have Joe Burrow drop back and get hit, and if I believe Bijan is a difference maker, the type of difference maker that's going to help me ice a game in Kansas City, in Buffalo, in bad weather. David, that would be a team if you're one player away, and Mixon is not going to play there.
Now, explain to the people that may not understand football a little bit, why would you say Bijan there and not Buffalo? Because a lot of people say running back for Buffalo.
And I agree with it, but Buffalo has shown no willingness to run the ball. Whether Dayball was calling the plays or Ken Dorsey, they don't want to run the ball. And I don't know why. Buffalo needs a running back, but what they need is their head examined. Run the football. Stop asking Josh Allen to win this thing by himself because it's equated to 35 turnovers in 2 years.
The Bengals attempt, they try to run the ball. That's what they do, even though they have Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Agree totally.
Move over to Buffalo. They are sitting at number 27, a team that a lot thought they should go to the Super Bowl last year. They were the class of the AFC, and they failed again. So what do they need to do? They lost key defensive players.
Yeah, and they need help up front on D, specifically the interior. They just can't stop the run. It really hurt them towards the end of the year. They were giving up about 5.5 yards a carry. I'd probably go interior D-line. Or, here's the other thing. When you look at that offense and we talk about all the vertical stuff, newsflash, you know what Josh Allen needs more of? Easy completions. Why not a tight end there? Seriously. Not everything's got to be a 30-yard laser beam.
With Josh Allen, it seems to have to be that way.
No, but
throw it deep.
David, here's the reality. Their window might already be closed.
I think it is.
But they have to change how they play if they're going to maximize their potential.
And then the number one seed, the Super Bowl champions out of the AFC, Kansas City, sit at number 31. My question to you for them is not what they need, is do they even draft in the first round?
Oh, stop it. Come on. Yeah, I mean, look, I think what they did with the secondary last year was commendable. Really young group. They've got good young linebackers with Nick Bolton and Willie Gay. You probably go up front. Frank Clark gone. Need someone to complement the rest of the guys there. Chris Jones is a stud. Mike Dana played really well for them, the kid from U of M.
Yes, he did.
I think that would be D-line for me. I tell you that, David, would it be crazy to suggest, and I know we've said this for a couple teams, but this is a big tight end draft.
It is.
How about putting somebody to take some of the burden off Kelsey? Adding another weapon. Just keep it rolling.
Hey, and the way the salary cap works, who knows how long they can keep Kelsey?
Oh, that's the whole point.
With Mahomes.
And again, it doesn't mean Kelsey's not the star. It doesn't mean you can play two tight ends at once. Play him in space.
And smart teams understand that, and they will start stacking and say, look, we may not be able to keep you in 2 years, so we got to start stacking and building and knowing that we have somebody behind you.
It's probably D-line, but with Andy Reid, he always has the itch.
And that is going through the AFC. We'll do the NFC at a later date. That is in football today.